The biggest thing with this one is the before work, all the planning out, all the design work. This is an assignment our other instructor, Deanna Sheehan, created. It's like an all about me thing. So all of these things are words that describe Deanna and things that she likes. And most of this stuff is done inside of Illustrator. And then you can see it's very little on how much After Effects is actually here. It's basically all these words kind of popping down, but then there's like some secondary animations on them. So like the movies thing you can see is spinning. If you watch it again, you'll see like the video, there's a little film strip that comes out of the eye, the little ball and chain right there, the graphics arrows. Painter had an airbrush right there, or a paintbrush right there, motions moving. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing for that next assignment when we come back from break. Remember, we're here Monday, we're not here Wednesday of next week. We're going to start off with going to a website called Wordle.net. You can create a word cloud, which is what this is. This is a word cloud. If you had the Intro to Photoshop class, you should have gone through and created a word cloud at some point. If not, then you'll just create one for this one. So what it is essentially just keywords, right? So we don't want to have like sentences. We want to have just keywords that describe you. So your first step is to write down a list of words that would describe you. So you can open up just like WordPad or TextEdit or anything, and obviously you'd want to put your name in there, so that makes sense. And then you'd put like video games or gaming. And you want to do one word things instead of two word things, because some of the two words won't come off there right. So gaming, family, school, butter, margarine. There we go. Okay, so you make a list. However many words, like at least like 15 words is a good number. You don't want to do too many because then it's hard to read because we're so far back. You don't want to do too few because then it's kind of boring. Okay, so at least 15 words you would populate into this thing. Then I'm going to copy the words, and I'm going to go to Wordle. And on Wordle, I go to Create, and I could paste in all my words. And then I hit Go. Now on these computers, it'll ask you, down here it'll say, or the pop-up will say, Java wants to update. Just say, I don't want to update Java, I'll do that later. And then you just say Allow, and then you say Run. On your home computer, you may not have to do as many clicks. Okay, but this is something you could do pretty much anywhere. So once I do this, it takes those words and it drops them into this format. I could play with different things like the language. So I could say in here, one of the common things they have is remove common English words. So if I were to use like a, the, or and, it would remove those words. So if you have a specific reason of why you want and in there or something, make sure you tell it, do not remove common words. You could also change, make all words lowercase. Make all words uppercase. The font has no lowercase apparently, so it's using that. Or guess case for each word. Here's another one. I could also change my font here, so I can make this whatever. Come on, there we go. Okay, you want to find something that again is going to be easy to read, but then also easy to add stuff to it, right? So something like this, it's very difficult to add something to this because it's so thin, there's not a whole lot of playroom there. The Helvetica one is a neat font because it actually has some neat transitions inside here. The projector is also not showing that it actually has some color to it. It's like reds and blues and purples. They're there, the projector's just not doing a great job of displaying it. We can also change the layout, so we could do like rounder edges. We could also do straighter edges. There you go. I like the rounder edges one better, it kind of keeps things closer together. The any which way, so it's going to go like that. We definitely don't want that. We want to keep it in that kind of grid format, horizontals and verticals. So half and half. There we go. I can also go to my color and I can change different colors. So I can go to like this color palette or that color palette or whatever. I can also come down here and do a custom color palette and then edit the custom color palette. Okay. Now remember when we talked about color, we had that Adobe website where we can go through and search all those different color schemes. We could use that as well. So if I go to color.adobe.com.org, whatever, and I go to explore themes, I could find a cool theme. Now again, you want to find something that is going to be easy to read. Something like this might be a little bit too much contrast, too bright colors for us to be able to read that. I don't know what those are. That's someone's attempt apparently at making them, so they just made a bunch of them. So let's pretend that I liked, this one here is neat, okay? So I can say edit copy. This will give me the hex codes for each one of these, so I can copy the hex codes. Come on. And then I could paste the hex code in there. And I go to this one, copy it, paste it, oops, and then copy it. Or I can just type it in. 233 ESF E5F. There we go. D0973B. And then I could add another color. Or I could leave it as 4 colors and then just use this one as that final color. And hit OK. Alright, so I go back to my Wordle. I tell it that I want to use my color palette. There it is. Now I could tell it to also customize it, like do more random iterations. So I just hit randomize, and it's going to randomize the color. It's going to randomize the position of each thing. So my first step is kind of just go through and just keep clicking it until I find something that I like. Like that looks pretty cool like that. And it is already half and half. It's already rounder edges, but if it wasn't, I could fix that. I want to pick my custom color palette. I want to pick my font. I like the cool Vetica. Oh, and I customized it again, but whatever. That works. Okay. So once I have this stuff set up, I can always change colors after too, so I'm not locked into each one being that color. I'm going to say print. Now, I'm not actually printing this to the printer. I want to save it as a PDF. Okay? And as a PDF, it should have had it listed there. We'll just do it the other way. We'll just save it as a ping. That works too. So I'm going to save this as a ping to my desktop. You would save it into your All About Me folder. And then what I need to do is go into Illustrator and make a new document. And I'm going to do this the same way that we did all our other stuff, which is saving it for video, saving it as HD 1080, making sure our transparency grid is not on, and we're in RGB. All right, so I'm going to place that graphic inside here. There it is. And what I want to do is I need to get this graphic as something that I could edit. Right now, it's just a picture. I can't edit the picture. But what I can do is use image trace. If you haven't used image trace before, it's a neat way to take a graphic and break it apart into actual things that you could edit, like colors. So if I go to image trace, there it goes. Now this has broken this apart into separate pieces. Now what I want to see is my palette. Here it is. So I click this little button here that brings open my palette. And then I could go into this and say that I want to see my tracing results. Yes. This is color. So it's going to think a second. And then my palette is right now just set to limited, which is fine because it still has those same colors. I could try automatic or I could try a full tone and see if I get better results. A lot of this is just clicking around until you get good results. So like on automatic, I'm getting the A has an opening. The previous one, the A had the closed spot here. So I definitely want that. I'm going to open up the advanced. I can play with more paths or less paths. And again, based on what font you picked, based on how many words you have and the shapes of each word and letter, you have to play with these settings to get good results. So this looks like it's pretty decent. All right, so I'm going to say I'm good. I'm going to hit expand. And when I hit expand, you'll see that I get this thing is now broken apart. So if I grab this and I ungroup it, I can grab these individual pieces and I can start to separate them. Now the background I don't care about, it's just a background. Okay, so I could delete the background. I can go through and delete all of these little inner pieces. I don't need those. And very quickly I've created all of that text without having to actually go through and type them and lay them out. Cool. All right. So this step here is just getting your text from Wordle into an image, into Illustrator. So now we have stuff that we can edit. If we don't like our colors, we can grab sections of this and we could eyedrop a different color if we wanted that to be a different color. Okay? Or if we needed to change the layout subtly, like maybe I don't want this margarine to be so big. I'll put it here like that. Okay? Or I can scale it down also. And kind of shuffle that in right there. And I could grab the family and maybe put the family. Inside here, and maybe take the gaming and pull the gaming out. Okay? You don't want to have to do a bunch of changes to it. Try to find a layout that is already pretty good, and then just tweak it from there. There we go. So let's pretend that's good enough. Okay? So at this point, I would save this out, and I would start to create all of those things that I want to add to it. So for like butter, I pick butter. Maybe I have like a stick of butter there for the U. So I would draw a picture of butter, and I would drop that into where the U is, and I would have a stick of butter inside there. The same thing for any of these other letters and words. I may want to add something else in there, like for gaming, maybe I have a video controller, like I have a Xbox controller for the eye or something. Okay, so I would draw those out, and I would place those into that spot. All right, so your first step is to do this. So this is something you could probably do within like an hour at the very, very most. Okay, so try to get this handled before we leave for break. Next week I'll show how to do more drawing stuff and how we're going to break it apart and put it together. Okay, you don't have to work on this over break, but if you need to because you need more time, definitely work on it over break. Okay, so I want to give you all the stuff you'll need to work on it over break if you want to do that. Okie dokie? Okay.